she would be perfect. Oh. And I'm gonna do a pop art comic book character type makeup application. So you could use it for a party or Halloween or like whatever. I just think it would be fun, and like my kind of inspiration for my bright yellow hair was the Liechtenstein paintings, you know, with the girls who are always like crying and they're like, oh Brad, I can't believe you do this to me, and they're like drowning in a pool of their own tears. So I'm just going to start by putting on my base, and I'm gonna start, you can do whatever you want with this, but I am gonna start off with porcelain. So I'm just gonna pop a little bit of foundation on and start getting my base ready, and then we'll get into the fun stuff. So I'm just gonna put that on. That's the porcelain anti-aging. Put a little bit of the candlelight under and around my eyes as a base as well, because it's a little thicker. Makes a good little, you know, sort of concealer, or, and I'm going to use my fingers for some, but I am definitely going to use brushes to create some of this look. So I'm going to pop some of that candlelight. So pop that under the eye, and I'm going to pop it up here as well. Just dabbing on a little bit of that candlelight, and I'm just going to tap that in all around here. Go right up under my eye. Isn't that nice? We're just getting rid of any darkness. I just want a really smooth, even base before I start drawing on all the ridiculousness that will be the fun of this look. Pop a little bit of the candlelight just in and around my mouth area as well, because I'd like quite full opaque coverage for where I'm going to be doing most of the drawing and the color. I'm going to start with the black outlines, and I'm going to work my way from the top down. I think I'm going to use a brush fairly slim for doing a lot of this line work. So it just looks like that. It's a liner brush, and that's what I'll be using to do most of it. And I'm going to be using on my face. I suppose you could use the eye sense if you wanted to, but it dries very quickly, and I want to be able to work with these a little bit. So I'm going to use the Onyx in the shadow sense. It's creamy and then it dries to a powder finish, so I think it's going to give us a little bit more time to play around with it. So I'm just going to put a little glug of it onto my hand, a little blob, a little blurb to work from. And I'm going to start with the brows. Now, you know how normally when I'm doing my brows, I will do that sort of, you know, I'll do my little line. We're doing it in black anyway, so you'll be able to really see it. And then I normally do straightforward, which is about here. And then I'll do to the edge of my eye, to the edge of my nose as like a guideline for my brow. You could do the same thing, okay, but these brows are going to be a little bit over exaggerated. They're going to be a little cartoonish. They're going to be, I'm going to try and maybe make them look a little sad. I always think it's fun when, for these looks, you know, there's a little tear drop because they're always crying because life is dramatic. So let's get started. I'm gonna look so amazing. Just gonna get a little bit exaggerated from, I'm gonna follow kind of my guideline, but I'm going to not worry about being heavy-handed like I would be. If I were obviously doing natural looking brows, it would be a bit much. So I'm gonna kind of angle them downward a little bit. Kind of bringing it in slightly, further from where I normally would, and kind of casting it down a little bit. Because I'm gonna look like, oh, so sad. I'm just gonna use a baby wipe, and I'm just gonna tidy up any little areas that aren't as smooth or perfect or sharp as I'd like them to be. So dramatic. Oh, so sad. Oh. Just so I can get a guide for how I think I want them to go. It's pretty good. I'm fairly happy with that. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You know me, I'm not a big fan of trying for perfect. a waste of time, and we all have other stuff to do. So I'm just gonna use my baby wipe while this is still creamy and just tidy up just under there. So I've done before a makeup lesson about hooded eyes, right? And I have hooded eyes. So this part of my eye kind of hangs down a little bit over my natural crease. And with cartoon eyes, obviously they're bigger, they're more exaggerated. So we're gonna kind of take the same principles anyway, of drawing on, you know, the cut crease sort of idea. So we're gonna create a crease that's higher than my natural crease, but you would do that anyway, just to kind of exaggerate the eye. So we're gonna follow those same sort of things. If you wanna watch that video, it's called Cut Crease for Hooded Eyes, I think. So if you scroll back, you can find that video if you're interested in watching it. Okay, so I am going to start by just creating an over-exaggerated wing out the side, because I'm also going to make lashes, and I'm going to do this across the top here of my lid, so like I'm doing a cat eye, right? And I know a lot of people like to actually use the onyx as a liner. It would be great, especially if you're doing like a smoky eye, because you could blend it really, really nicely. So just kind of across the top like that. And now I'm gonna draw in. You see that I have that slight line up there anyway, because that's where my eye wants to crease while it's still wet. So I'm doing my cut crease, and it can be overly dramatic this time, really exaggerated. To make it look like I've got bigger, cartoonier eyes. Because remembering, obviously, that in this look, we're like 2D. So we're just creating like flat lines. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit, and then I'll probably go in and clean it up even a little bit more. I'm gonna grab a little brush and wrap my baby wipe around the tip of my brush. I like to do this if I want to clean stuff up a little bit, just like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean up underneath here a little, because I don't need necessarily quite so much. Go up a little bit more while it's still malleable. Cool, that'll work. That'll work for now, just tidying up. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. And I'm gonna do the same thing under here, but I'm gonna go a little bit outside the line of my eye, like everything is a little bit overdrawn and exaggerated. Yeah, like that. So I'm going kind of well below my eye. Yeah, so when I sit back, right, it's making my eyes start to get even bigger, like a cartoony sort of eye. And we're gonna go back in there with some snow in a minute. Now I'm gonna go do my lashes. Okay, so I'm gonna start kind of here, I think, and give myself quite dramatically overdrawn lashes. Hi! Oh, this is just, you know, my day-to-day makeup. Yeah, hilarious. Okay. You can go through, make them as thin, as thick, as drawn in as you want. There's no rules. This is, you have to do anything a particular way. So now I think the top is probably dry enough for me to go up and do the top lashes. So we're gonna do this this big one up here. Probably another little one just there. And I might even do this really even more even more over the top. Big. Yep, cool. All right. So. Cool, that's the top one. I'm gonna let this dry. I really want the black to just totally dry before I go back in with some lighter colors and pop in around here. So we'll come back to the eyes. They're not finished yet, but I'm gonna continue lining my face with black so that that cream can set to a powder finish. And then I can come back in and, you know, pop them open, okay? Cool. So now we're gonna go to the fun part of sort of making up lines on our face. So I might even just sort of make a little, I'm gonna follow my own little frown line. Just following the flat bits, you know, like all the little, so I'm gonna have a line obviously down my nose to accentuate my nose. And I might just kind of bring it around the end a little bit as well. So I'm gonna start that. Just bring it around. Even a little bit more. See how I'm sort of looking, you know, like starting to look more flat? If you look at it from the right angles. You kind of have to pick an angle you want this. I'm gonna go to this side, so it's not completely symmetric. And then I'm gonna do the nostrils on either side. Do those like I'm looking forward, yeah? There's one. There's a second. You can kind of go back in and touch them up, thicken them up. There's no perfect way. It's a drawing, right? So like, it can be sketchy, it can be imperfect. I'm going to do my Cupid's bow just above my lips. Like that. Kind of tickles under my, I kind of tickle. Still doing all of our outlines. I think I'm gonna do my cheekbones. So we're gonna say like, there. Just be kind of quick as well when you make your first line. You can go back in and make it thicker, but don't try to like sort of go slowly. It's easy to make like a nice quick line. Yeah, and come back and kind of fill it in. So I'm just gonna thicken that up a little bit. Make it taper slightly. So that's my little cheekbone. And we'll do it on the other side. You can spend your whole life like trying to make lines exactly even and perfect, or you can just like do it. I'm gonna do my jawline. A little closer in so you can see it from the front, from where it naturally sits. So you can kind of see it coming in from the front. So we'll come back in on the other side of my jaw. Yeah? Yes, it's coming together. I'm gonna go to the grocery store. Oh goodness. Okay, I'm gonna do my chin. Yeah? That'll do. Okay, I'm having so much fun, you guys. This is so funny. It's even better when I like talk and move and drink and do stuff. I'm gonna take so many selfies. So we're gonna carry this down just probably enough. May as well because it's exposed. So kind of like collarbone-y. Yep, that'll do. Doing like a little clavicle sort of areas and everything. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. You're drawing. We'll do a little. Is that happening? Is that working? Does that work? Yeah, that works. Close enough. Close enough. It's hard for me to see actually from where I'm sitting in the mirror. I can't quite tell, but I think it's coming together. Yeah, why not? So I'm gonna keep letting everything just dry, set itself as I go, and I'm gonna switch to blackberry, but you could use onyx, but I'm gonna use blackberry. I think just because I feel like it's going to give me longer wear on my lips than the onyx shadow. Yeah? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna put some of this blackberry on my hand as well. And I'm gonna draw my lips outside. Yeah, paintbrushes are great. Draw my lips outside of where they actually are because I'm gonna make them look exaggerated. I should stand in the window and be like, hi. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry. I want it to be totally dry before I come back in with my red color. So I'm just gonna let that dry for a minute. My eyes should be dry enough now for what I want to do. So I'm gonna go back in with the snow, right? So that's the white shadow sense. Okay, so I have a brush very similar to the other one I was using for the black, but I'm using an even smaller one for the white because I'm gonna go in and I just want to be a little bit more detailed. I'm gonna fill in the space between my eye and the black line I made to make my eyes look bigger. Like that. Make it even more cartoony. And this is the snow. See there, I'm just going in. I'll probably go back in with the black again too and just refine that line. So I'm just gonna fill in the space between my eye and the black liner. And I'm gonna even go in a little bit through the lashes just in the corner. Just there, I don't wanna go the whole way. Just trying to make the eye pop. Yeah, cool, awesome, thanks guys. And I'm going to put a little bit of this white up here as well. Let that dry for a second, you guys. I don't want it to muck up what I've been doing. Because I have quite a bit of it up there, I think it's going to take a little while to dry, so I'm just going to use another brush, like that one. Almost just like smoothing it over, just making it a little bit less thick so that it can dry a little bit faster. So I really want it to hit that powder finish. So I don't have to worry about it anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm gonna do the other eye, and then I'm gonna come back in once all the white dries again, then I'm gonna come back with my black and like just fix up any little spots, yeah? Okay. So we're not finished with anything yet, we're just in process. It's a process, people, it's a process. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other eye now. So I'm gonna let the eyes dry, we'll come back to that at the end, and we're gonna go back to lips now. Yeah, so I'm gonna use blue red because it's obviously the most bright, vivid, perfect red for this. I'm gonna fill in the same way I would normally apply my lip sense. everything inside the black. Good shake. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'll let this dry. I'm not gonna put on my gloss yet. I'll let it dry, yeah? Okay, I'm gonna use Snow, which is the shadow sense, and I'm gonna use that to highlight my lip. And then once it's dry, I'm gonna seal it in another layer. Oh, where's my icicle? Icicle, right? So I can use my shadow sense on my lips, and then seal it with icicle, and then I'll put gloss over the top. Yeah? Yeah? Cool. Okay. I'll let this dry for a second. And then I'm gonna take some Snow. Okay, I'm gonna do a little like highlight, yeah? Just make it look a little extra cartoony and a little extra hull. Alright, there's a little bit on the top too. Hang on. I caught here. Just little like flashes of light, like not a ton, just flashes of light. Yeah, okay, that's enough. Any more, I don't know how I screw it up. So I'll let that dry for a minute. When it's totally dry, I'm gonna seal it with icicle. That's the clear lip scent. Yeah? Okay. Okay, okay. Now, I need a wand. Okay, just gonna get my wand. Clear lip sense. Fresh wand. Just make sure this is dry. I'm gonna let this sit on for a minute because I really don't want to go over it when it's not dry and smear it. I really want to keep the colors separate for each other. Yeah? Alright, is it dry? Okay, I think that's dry. So I'm gonna use my icicle and I'm gonna seal the shadow sense. Oh, one more use, huh? Okay. So just getting a nice, good icicle on here. So that's our clear one. Just sealing that, yeah? Okay, that's good. I'll let that dry. And I'm gonna take my blackberry again. And I'm just gonna do a little detailing on the inside of the lip. Just a little on the inside. Can you see I'm making like little, you know, like little line? Like where I want my lips to go? That? Can you see that? Okay. I'll let that dry for a second. And I'll put a little bit more of the gloss on. Just seal it all up. Okay, so that's with my matte gloss. So you can see I've just done a little bit of black and a little bit of line work on the inside to make it kind of have that, you know, cartoony sort of look. It's all coming together. Here's Cherry. That's the blush sense. I'm just gonna put a dab of this cherry on my finger, just a smidge. Okay, so people want a tear. Okay, we'll do a tear. I'm just gonna put that a little bit there on my fingers, and I'm just gonna go over my cheeks slightly. Okay, so just coloring ever so slightly, just a little pink tinge, yeah? On my cheek. And the nice thing is we all know about having lip sense is none of our colors are gonna run into each other. We can drink our coffee and it ain't no thing. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, I wasn't clever enough to remember to borrow one of the blue shadow scents, so I'm gonna have to use just a bit of powder for that one. So whatever, it'll be fine. I'm just gonna pick one of these blues. I think I'll go with the brighter one. That's not as important as all the outlining and everything anyway. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my little brush that I was doing my black line work with, and I'm gonna grab my black onyx again. That's the shadow sense. So I'm gonna put some of the shadow sense again, and I'm gonna do this side. I'm gonna make a little tear. I'll let that dry. You guys, don't cry. It's not that sad. Okay, so now, upon excellent suggestion, I am going to take some of the snow and I'm going to scrape off a little bit of the blue shadow that I have on. I'm gonna mix that in place of one of the blue shadow scents because I don't have one, but it'll still give me the longevity I am after. Clever girls. Okay, so I have a brush that's slightly rounded, slightly soft, but still kind of firm. I'm gonna use that to put my blue on. So I'm gonna mix together some of the snow. And I'm gonna grab some of this blue powder. I'm gonna use this bright blue right here. And I'm gonna mix that into my snow so I can tinge it blue. Perfect. You guys are so smart. That worked really, really well. See, it just gave me a nice bright blue. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in here now that I've made up my blue shadow. Might even make it a little bit more blue. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Just gonna fill in the inside of this line work that I've done. So I'm gonna take a little bit more of the snow by itself, and I'm gonna use that to make a highlight in this tier so it's like really glistening. Where'd my white brush? Where's the brush I'm using for white? Where did I put it? Here it is. Yeah. Okay, so it's just my really fine one, and I'm gonna grab a little bit of this snow. Just dab. And I'm just gonna add a highlight in here. Like that, you see? Just to kind of give that's good. So we're gonna let that dry. Grab my black brush back, that's for my onyx. I'm just gonna tidy up on my eyes now that the white has dried. I'm gonna go back and just clean up any edges. It's nice and crisp. I'm just gonna tidy up around any of the edges where anything may have gotten covered. So now that we've got to this point, you have two options. I'm pretty much done with all of my line work. I've done my color work. This is where you can go and take that extra step and put dots in. Yeah, so when they would do like the printing in comic books, you guys let me know if you want me to do the dots. I'll do it anyway if you want me to. This is where you go and put your dots in. So because when they would print on old newspaper or whatever, it would actually be like a conglomeration of dots that would from a distance make the look of a cartoon, if that makes sense. I think I'm gonna use one of these brushes, this one probably, to do dots so that they're really uniform. I could try and paint them on with a brush, but it's just easier. So I'm gonna take some snow. Now you could do your dots in white or you can do your dots in pink. You can kind of do them, you know, usually you want some sort of contrast, right? So you either want them to be white or you want them to be pink, so it's ever so slightly different from whatever your skin tone is. I kind of prefer, considered halftone, yeah, so screen printing, that sort of thing. I kind of prefer white dots. I kind of feel like the pink ones can sort of look like you have chicken pox. So I think I'm gonna do it with, I've seen it done both ways and I kind of prefer the white, so I'm gonna use the snow again. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use the end of my brush, like that, and I'm gonna dip it in the snow. And you see the little dot? Yeah, and I'm just gonna do that Might take me a little while. I'm trying to keep them fairly uniformly spaced. And I'm trying to keep them fairly straight. Halfway done. Almost. Getting there. Getting there. Getting there. Getting there. Oh, you guys, I'm so close. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Ooh, 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 ah. Now I'm gonna do the hair, because you guys know I changed my hair color to yellow, and I think that's like the whole inspiration for why I wanted to do this. So now I'm gonna comb out the pin curl set that I did earlier. Oh, it's gonna be awesome! I'm just gonna pull out all of my pin curls, and I'm gonna do my brush out and finish the look, and it's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna use my little Mason & Pearson travel size brush to do my brush out and back comb. This is my little Mason Pearson. This is the one I prefer to do a brush out with, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna loosely just pull through and break these curls up first. I'm gonna keep it quite big, and I'm gonna keep it quite curly, and like all of those pinup pop girls who look so fun. So I'm just gonna break those up a little bit first. Just loosely, before I go back through and put in my back combing. So I have a rat-tailed comb like that, a little skinny end, just for subdividing. I mean, you can use whatever you want, but this is just the one that I like for doing my back combing because it has slightly wider teeth. So now I'm gonna grab a clip, just a little duckbill clip, and I'm going to subsection down here with my rat tail. Okay, so I'm just back combing to give some extra volume at the base here. And the way I like to do my back combing is hold my hair really taut, put my comb in, and then pull straight up like that. And I'm gonna use my hairspray, which I'm gonna use my favorite one. This is Osis by Schwarzkopf. So I'm probably just gonna spritz a little of this in here where I did my back combing. Get rid of my coffee cup. I got this for my husband because he always buys me funny mugs, so I got this one for him because I just think that's, I don't know why, that just tickles me that he would use that. So I'm gonna go in here, back comb underneath, just down the root, because I want it to be really big and really over the top. Bigger in the hair, closer to God. That's what they say, and I believe it. Okay, so I have faith, y'all. All right, where is my rat tail comb? Go, next section up. So my hair is cut. My hair is cut in almost an old-fashioned style. It's a kind of a halfway point between like a shag and a what they call a midi, which is like a 1950s sort of haircut. So I've got shorter layers up the top for doing like pin curls and stuff. So it's good for these sorts of styles. Here, nice and big, so it can be big and voluminous. I'm looking so beautiful, so pretty. I'm so pretty. I'm such a pretty girl. All right, I've gotten most of my back combing in there. I'm not really gonna muck around with the back. I'm happy to leave that just like loose and curly and big. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna start on this side, and I'm kind of just gonna brush all the outside of my hair to kind of smooth out any of the back combing that I did from the visible parts on the outside. I want to leave the back combing on the inside so that it's really big. I'm just smoothing out the outside, but I want to leave all the back combing on the interior because I want it to be nice and big. And I do a lot of shaping just with my fingers. So I'm gonna exaggerate, you know, these little curls and waves and things. And I really like this hairspray because it dries really quickly. This one out this way. And this is just, you know, fiddling until you're happy. Like I said, nothing has to be perfect. Ain't nobody got time for that. But we're just gonna like make it as good as we can. I'm gonna back comb a little bit at the bottom here, just because I want it to be, oops, a little bit shorter down the bottom and poofier down the bottom. There we go. a little spritz. Brush over, smooth out everything across the front so it's nice and smooth, but we still keep all the back combing inside. I'm having lots of fun today. Okay, I'm glad I decided to do this. This is really fun. Okay, so this side. Make a big old wave. No such thing as too much hairspray. Okay, one more go over. I'm gonna grab a little bit of the translucid powder. Tap some of that out. And I'm just gonna powder it down. Just kind of dabbing. I'm not gonna like wipe it, obviously, because I just kind of want to set everything below it, like now that it's all dry. The only place that kind of got mucked up is on my neck, but that's because I didn't let it dry before I started doing other stuff. I wasn't paying that much attention, but that's okay. Guys, I think we're done! Hooray! I hope you guys had fun. If you want any information on the products or if you want any information on signing up and joining my team, you know how to get in touch with me. Just send me a message. I will get back to you. And if you're in the area and you want to come to my shop, it's called Yankee Sweetheart. You can come find me here.